Hey, Wemberg World Entertainment, and of course, this year should see the arrival of Avengers Doomsday, but next year should see the arrival of Avengers Secret Wars. Now, Secret Wars is where pretty much everybody and their grandparents are going to show up because every single character is meant to be in this one. But there's now a new rumour because this thing is meant to be that big that Marvel could actually split the thing into 2 movies. Yep, we're talking about another one of these. The movie that we're going to try and just milk for everything it's worth, we'll split it into 2 parts. Which means the first part would probably be all the boring stuff, and then the next part would be all the action. But there's also another rumour that this movie is where we're going to get introduced to the new Black Panther, and the name being floated around to portray the new T'Challa makes no sense when you see who it is. But let's dive into this, because this rumour now is doing the rounds that Secret Wars could get split into 2 movies. So let's have a look. So earlier this week, we brought you a familiar rumour about Marvel Studios potentially splitting Avengers Secret Wars into 2. If it happens, that and Avengers Doomsday become a trilogy, and there's arguably enough storytelling potential there to make it a viable option. Disney is eager to produce a greater number of sequels, and the Avengers franchise remains one of the biggest on the planet. Plus, delaying the end of the multiverse saga gives the studio a little more time to ensure that Josh Schafer's X-Men reboot is as good as it possibly can be. That sounds ridiculous to say. We're just going to split this movie into 2 parts so it gives this idiot more time to write the X-Men. Like, wrap your brains around that. Especially when they're talking about the next movie after Secret Wars being Black Panther, not X-Men. So, which is it? This is where it's like getting confusing, because it is that. Well, which is it? Are you doing X-Men first? Or are you doing Black Panther first? Are you doing something completely different first? What are you doing? Clearly, they don't know themselves. So, brace yourselves. Daniel Richman has shared an update today claiming that Marvel Studios will make a decision about whether to split Avengers Secret War into 2 based on the success of this December's Avengers Doomsday. So according to this clown, they're going to decide whether to break it into 2, providing Doomsday is a massive success. Here's the thing everyone's overlooking with that type of statement. Avengers Doomsday can make $1 billion. Problem there is, it still won't have broken even because they realistically have probably spent close to, if not around or even above, $700 million on this movie. When you consider the production, how much Robert Downey Jr. got paid, how much the Russo brothers got paid. Those 2 elements right there, Russo brothers and Downey Jr. alone, has put the budget of this thing over $200 million. That's just those. That's just to bring them in. That's not even all the other actors and then the actual production in like the UK where filmed and stuff. So we will see those actual numbers, but the reality is this thing probably has to make probably closer, if not over, $2 billion to break even. So this idea of, well, they're going to wait to see how well this does, because obviously if it makes $1 billion, $1.5 billion, they're going to parade it as this massive success when the reality is it won't be. So just keep that in mind. So this then, the article is ridiculous because it says, it adds up. Then again, Secret Wars is scheduled to begin shooting over the summer. A decision in late December or early January wouldn't give the Russo brothers much time to change their plans, though we suppose they may have already figured out a way to expand this story, allowing them to quickly shift gears and shoot 2 blockbusters back to back. Still, as exciting as it sounds, it still seems a little far-fetched. With that in mind, if making Avengers Secret War 2 movies is legitimately on the table at Marvel Studios, we'd bet on a decision being made long before Doomsday arrives. It's also funny because they're saying Daniel Richman is the one saying this, where I've seen it being Jeff Snyder coming out and saying that there's talk of them splitting this movie into two. And of course, he brings up the whole thing of Scarlet Witch coming back, and everybody's coming back for Secret Wars. But Secret Wars rumours, Lantern star Aaron Pierre among those eyed for MCU's new Black Panther. That's right, they're looking at Aaron Pierre to take over as T'Challa. So it says last February, it was reported that Marvel Studios supposedly plans to finally recast T'Challa following Chadwick Boseman's death in 2020. The same rumour has continued to show up in different forms since then, and the consensus is that Toussaint, I'm not sure how you actually pronounce the name, which is the T'Challa's son, the hero's son, will be aged up and take his father's place. One compelling possibility is him being plucked from a future timeline, which is exactly what's meant to happen. Lead concept art from Avengers Doomsday showed a version of T'Challa with F1, the movie star Damson Idris likeness. The Russo brothers, whose name has been the top pick for as long as this Doomsday announcement happened, was him. The Russo brothers have claimed that the artwork wasn't representative of the movie they're making, but the actor is widely viewed as the current frontrunner for the role. Now, there's a new twist, as again, Daniel Richman is reporting that Marvel Studios has met with actors, including Rebel Ridge and Lantern star Aaron Pierre, to play a new Black Panther in Avengers Secret War. Richmond says the plan is to introduce a new Black Panther in the 2027 movie, suggesting the Russos have moved T'Challa's return from Doomsday to Secret Wars, which is where it was always meant to happen, with the latter likely set on Battleworld. It's the perfect opportunity to age up the new T'Challa and move into the new rebooted MCU, with him remaining as Black Panther for Ryan Coogler's upcoming trequel. Okay, but Daniel Richman is just throwing everything at the wall here. He's obviously hearing things from other people and he's throwing it out there to try and say, I'm the first to say this. Black Panther's return was always set for Secret Wars, not Doomsday. We've known that. We know there's a new T'Challa coming for Ryan Coogler's movie. We know that. We also know that the next phase in the MCU is meant to be a soft reboot, although some word from within Marvel is that it's a hard reboot. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Aaron Pierre being considered to play Black Panther, how exactly is that going to work with his commitment now to Lanterns? That will make no sense, because James Gunn has already discussed that these characters will show up in the movies as well. So what? Is he going to be cast as the new T'Challa and then James Gunn keeps using them for his movies and TV shows and stuff? So what? They have to keep kicking the can down the road, so it'll be like 2032 before they can actually do a Black Panther 3? That part doesn't make sense to me at all, especially when Idris is the front runner and has been the only real name considered forever, really. So I don't believe that Aaron Pierre is in talks to become the new Black Panther. That just makes absolutely no sense to me. Breaking Secret Wars into 2 movies, I can see them attempting it for simply the box office numbers, but at the same time, there'll be even more money pumped into Secret Wars, so breaking it into 2 movies wouldn't make sense either, because you're definitely probably going to fail in bringing in box office numbers. So it's all just rumour at this stage. I would take it all with a massive grain of salt, especially seeing as most of it comes from Daniel Richman. But again, I have heard some of it with the splitting the movie into 2 from Jeff Snyder. So take it all with a massive pinch of salt. But at the same time, let us know what you think. Do you think they would risk breaking it into 2 movies? And do you think Aaron Pierre could actually portray the new T'Challa? Let us know. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I shall catch you in the next one.